a $46,000 Crystal Falcon and a $300,000 limited edition BMW among the exhibits seized by police and now on display at Kyiv's pop-up anti-corruption park. It's funded by the European Union, aimed at showing the cost of corruption to the government and the people.
A lot of people come out angry because they've realized that corruption is so huge and on such a grand scale.
Corruption will be among the issues topping the agenda. In May, the EU agreed to a $1.2 billion package of financial assistance for Ukraine in exchange for deep domestic reforms.
So you have what's called the National Anti-Corruption Bureau. It's totally separate from the corrupt police. It can do its job well, it's independent, but it can't actually put bad guys in jail without reform to the courts. They do their work, the courts just let the bad guys go.
That, says Wilson, is where the reforms have stalled.
Ukraine is being asked to set up a separate anti-corruption court. It's kind of set up a fake version that nobody believes would be independent. So that's the key stumbling block.
It's an obstacle that may be difficult to overcome.
With the main preoccupation of the Ukrainian government right now being the forthcoming 2019 elections, it's very unclear how all the challenges will be met.
It's been a year since the EU-Ukraine Association Agreement was signed after repeated delays. For many Ukrainians, it offered the hope of economic opportunity and the rule of law after decades of slow growth and corruption.
The early signs are that exports to the EU are beginning to expand, but not enough really to float the economy off the rocks. So there are some signs of disillusion because Ukraine hasn't got more.
The EU will use the summit to reaffirm its backing for Ukraine's territorial integrity after the bloc last week extended sanctions against Russia.
External pressure can help, in particular perhaps to prevent a strong escalation of the conflict, but it won't on its own be sufficient to really do anything meaningful to resolve the conflict.
The White House this week said there is no change in US policy on Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea. US President Donald Trump and Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin are scheduled to meet in Helsinki July 16th, with Ukraine likely a key aspect of their talks. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.